Hello, welcome to the Solex presentation with Team Ascension. Today we're chatting about how you can use Solex technology to implement frequency medicine into your everyday life. For those of us who are into health and wellness, maybe you've already been involved in various types of natural healing, holistic healing, you live a healthy lifestyle, and now you're curious about how to utilize frequency therapies and frequency medicine and bioresonance in the quantum field in your life to either take your health and wellness lifestyle up to another level, or perhaps you're dealing with something in particular. Maybe you have some kind of chronic illness, or maybe you want to use more health and wellness methods at home with your family, or all of the above. Solex has a really wonderful offering of a variety of technology that's affordable and user friendly, and it's really honestly exploding right now. Solex only started 3 years ago, and the company's exploding because people love having the empowerment at home to utilize a variety of really wonderful technologies that help move the needle in improving health, improving your emotional health, improving your brain balancing, and more. Really, it can improve so many aspects of your life. So I wanted to just kind of start with a couple ideas first. If you're watching this now, we probably are all familiar with the paradigms of medicine. So let's just talk about maybe the three main paradigms of health and medicine. The first paradigm is allopathic Western medicine. This is kind of what I grew up with in 1981. This was sort of the standard that you go to the doctor, they give you antibiotics or they give you pills, right, for your symptoms, and that's it. That's pretty much the model. It wasn't until I was 19 years old that I became exposed to the paradigm of natural medicine. This is where we're looking at, why do I have symptoms? And we're not just trying to mask it with a pill. We're looking at my lifestyle and what am I doing to exacerbate these symptoms or disease process. So that's where we all kind of at some point have maybe some of this transition from Western allopathic to natural medicine. And now we're looking at things like our diet, sleep, exercise, herbs, supplements, etc., natural ways. Maybe we're utilizing homeopathic medicine or Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine or naturopathy. There's so many things that are non-invasive and have no side effects, that are kind of like the older medicines actually, of history. And then once we've been in that paradigm for a little while, now some of us are kind of moving into the frequency medicine and energy medicine space. And this is getting even more at the root cause because everything starts on the energy level, and all of us are primarily energy. When we talk about just basic physics, there's the wave and the particle, right? When we're learning about matter and subatomic matter, there's just so much space that the particles never even touch. And, we're primarily these energy waves and light and sound and frequency. And so understanding that like basis of who we are, then it makes sense to have a whole health and wellness paradigm around energy medicine and frequency medicine. And people can either take advantage of that through their own development. Humans, we have these our own abilities to heal ourselves and each other, whether it's dormant or active, in people or not. Whether people choose to develop that in themselves, it's there. But also, alongside our own human development has been health technology and the development of utilizing various frequency technology to kind of mimic in a way what we can do with each other and mimicking nature, and having it just be a really useful tool. This is kind of where biohacking comes in. Biohacking can be anything from grounding, learning about light therapy, but also a lot of it is very heavy on frequency medicine and frequency technology. Having something that's mimicking nature or mimicking ourselves at the push of a button, you can utilize a lot of this like knowledge and wisdom that's ancient, but now is kind of modernized and available and a convenient tool, right? Just kind of the same thing with like communication and travel. Like, we're talking to each other on Zoom right now. We didn't used to be able to do that. I'm old enough to remember life before the internet, right? So now our ability to communicate with each other is faster. It can travel through distance and time. Same thing has happened with our phones. I remember like our regular corded phones. Now they're cell phones and they're little tiny computers. So you can understand we've all, if you're a certain age, seen how fast technology has progressed. Well, the same thing has happened in the health technology space. So I want to talk about how Solex specifically started in the health technology space, just to kind of add some credibility to how long they've been in this space and also pioneering this space of frequency medicine. So it's always good to know like how a company got started. This is the man, Lauren Swenson, behind Solex. And, if you watch the journey, it was him seeking a way to help his son with cerebral palsy have a better quality of life. So right away, there's a pure intention. And I feel like all of us kind of have that as we get started in the healing arts or we're on a wellness journey. Like we have this intention to improve our quality of life so that we're not suffering unnecessarily, right? So there's the pure intention that you need. And then from there, the curiosity and exploration continues. And so Lauren traveled all over the world and he came upon various health technologies, even way back in 1988. What was available in Russia at that time, in China at that time, like most of this space has been pioneered outside of the United States for sure, and then has kind of over time and made its way to the United States. Lauren Swenson is one of those people that brought all of these different health technologies from all over the world to the United States. And one of the things that he brought back to the United States was a bioresonance scanning software. And he created this computer. It was a large, expensive scanning device that was like $30,000. And the origin of it, I like to share the origin, was the software they designed to be able to scan somebody's body and read all of the frequencies of their body, compare them to the ideal blueprint frequencies, what they should be in homeostasis. And if someone is not in homeostasis, then they would send the balancing frequency to gently correct them and bring them back to balance, or to encourage their frequencies to be where they should be in those ideal blueprints. This was actually created for astronauts in space. So when an astronaut is in space, not on the Earth plane, then this technology would scan them and send frequencies to their body. So that's how it originated with Russian scientists and German scientists and physicists. Then this technology became available for purchase to people like Lauren Swenson and others. And bioresonance was now brought to the main public, mostly through these expensive machines at first, which only really doctors utilized for a period of time. And now fast forward, like I said, technology has changed so fast. They've had to rewrite the entire software, update it for the modern times and the new, Windows and everything. So now here we are in 2024, and we have access to this technology for only $149 a month on a subscription that you can use on your own phone, laptop, and computer. And that's how streamlined and efficient and updated everything has gotten since then. So Lauren Swenson also has a company called Energy Development, where he creates like theta chambers, red light beds, hyperbaric chambers, kind of the larger machines that would go into like a biohacking center or a wellness clinic. And people use those in what's called quantum wellness centers. So I kind of call those the big boy machines, if you will. These are like very expensive technologies that you would put, yeah, in a biohacking clinic or a wellness center. And people can kind of pay per session utilizing these larger technologies. Well, Solex is really designed to bring to the lay person in their home uh, technologies that are under $2,000. So I'm going to share a little bit about the subscription that I just mentioned for $149 a month. And then I'll share some of the other technologies that he's brought to Solex that are still affordable, but they're also really cool self-care tools and technologies you can utilize. Maybe you've heard of some. Okay, so let's first dive into the AOScan subscription. And like I said, this is the Bioresonance software that was brought originally from Russia and Germany. And it started out as just bioresonance scans. I just want to explain what is a bioresonance scan, okay? I want to also kind of give some context in how the scanner is looking at imbalances in our body. So everything starts on an energy level, which means any physical disease process first starts early as an energy imbalance. And it might be just a tiny, tiny little energy imbalance. That's how everything starts. If this imbalance continues to get worse, then it becomes inflammation in the body. So you may have heard of that all disease starts with inflammation. And so people start looking at the inflammation in their body and trying to monitor the inflammation. Well, if the inflammation gets worse and progresses, now we have physical symptoms and a disease process, okay? So that's that whole spectrum of how things start on an energy level to how it becomes manifested on the physical level and we see a disease process or symptoms. Bioresonance scans pick up everything on this entire spectrum, and that's unique because most testing is only picking up things that are physically manifested, and we miss a lot of the inflammation that started early, and then we completely miss all of the energy imbalances with standard testing. Unless you're going to somebody like maybe an acupuncturist who's also reading the energies in your body, and maybe they're doing their own methods of understanding what's happening energetically. But in terms of like all of us having access to a technology, bioresonance is showing us that whole spectrum from the tiniest little energy imbalance to the inflammation and what's manifesting physically. Okay, that's what's unique about bioresonance. Now, all of the frequencies in our body, they've already been mapped out. There's huge databases of frequency information about the human body. And so that's why they now have these databases of blueprint frequencies, for example. Like I mentioned, we should be in homeostasis. Let's say your liver is supposed to be at a certain frequency when it's healthy. But if the frequency is too low or the frequency is too high, then we're out of balance and we're out of range. And that's where it's a little energy imbalance. But if it gets worse, over time, it could progress to full-blown liver disease or, the breakdown of your liver. So the scanning software is showing us where are we out of balance, and it's giving us the correcting or optimizing frequencies to try to bring us back to balance. So some of the scans that do that in the software are the vital scan. Oh, I'm gonna have to log in again. Okay, excuse me. Okay, where were we? Vital scan. So the vital scan is looking at things like food sensitivities, your blood, your chakras and meridians, your gut, your nutrition, physical functionality like your organs, and then toxicities. Could this be like viruses, bacteria, parasites, metals, etc.? And so then you'll enter yourself into the software, scan, click optimize. Optimize is where you're going to be receiving the balancing frequencies, and then you'll get a full-blown report. So I'll just share an example of a report. This is, again, how the software started with bioresonance scans. And so you'll get like a full, very detailed report. Look here, I have double reds on octopus. Is that octopus? No, it's mackerel. Okay, mackerel. So that means I might have a slight sensitivity to mackerel today. Or if I eat mackerel, I might have an inflammatory response. Or maybe I've been eating too much mackerel and my body doesn't want any more. Okay. So there's a variety of ways that you can kind of interpret this. And so that's the vital scan. You can also look at the comprehensive scan, which will show you more of your physical parts, your organs, your tissues, your skeleton, your lymph, arteries, veins. And so now you'll get to see very detailed reports. Again, I kind of look for where the double reds are. Those are the areas of imbalance. Left perforator artery. Okay. So anyone who's the type of person that loves to learn about root cause, that's such a popular term right now, right? Root cause. How do we find information that we're not getting from standard testing? Because plenty of people say, I've gone to the doctor, they don't know what's wrong with me, right? I've done all these tests, nobody can figure it out. And so this is kind of filling the gap of information that you won't be getting on standard tests. And you have the ability to kind of play detective yourself if you are the type that likes to play detective and sort through information and kind of connect the dots to help understand more about what's happening on these subtle levels in your own body. You can also pay gifted practitioners to analyze your reports for you. I actually feel like if you aren't the type to play detective, it's actually better to have this information and then send your reports off to somebody who will analyze it for you and tell you how to interpret this information in a way that you know what actions to take to make improvements to your scans. So that's kind of in a nutshell the bioresonance part of this. But since they've added more features, there's a whole lot of modalities and supportive features now where it's not just about learning about the scans, which is remarkable in and of itself, but now we have all of these other ways to improve our frequencies. And so the main flagship technology that everybody loves because everybody understands music and the healing power of music and hertz frequency is through sound. Inner voice is an incredible feature where you speak into the software, it analyzes the tones of your voice, and based on your unique voice and the emotion coming out of your voice, it'll custom create sound healing music. And that's what's actually really rare and unique because normally when we're thinking about sound healing, we'll go to YouTube or we have our favorite sound healing app or what have you, or maybe you have a sound healing practitioner that you like. And there's some wonderful sound healing music that's sort of universally great. You know, we also really like music with a background of 432 hertz or 528 hertz. And those are sort of universally great. But what's actually really laser focused is if you can have music that's created for you. So there's some incredible testimonies. Actually, I'd love to just open it up to Scott right now if you want to share kind of your take on inner voice and if you have any like personal testimony with it. Because you also like regular sound healing music too.
I do. And just to backtrack one step, these reports and these scans, they're in no way meant to be, a diagnosis or a diagnostic tool. It's simply a data point and a reference for you to be able to, fill in the gaps and just understand your health better to prevent,
Thank you.
optimize your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we listen to Inner Voice every morning. And what would you say kind of your like big testimony or takeaway is about it?
I think it's created a lot more abundance, and it definitely has a huge impact on my mood and calming effects.
Yes, same. I feel like when I first started, it helped me process my emotions. Like if I felt stagnant or if I was burying feelings, if I wasn't dealing very well on the surface with my emotions, it would help me process them better. I also do think, yeah, for me, it helps with brain balancing for sure, like clarity, creativity. There's a lot of people that say it unlocks your creativity for sure because it helps to kind of get you into these ideal states for creativity. And obviously, like stress relief, people need to kind of shift their mood or their emotional state to a more relaxed, balanced state. So this is wonderful. There's a lot of great testimonies for even physical symptoms. If people aren't feeling well, they feel healthier and more balanced after listening to the music. What I like about Inner Voice is that we all understand music, even if you're new to frequencies and using frequency medicine in your life. Music is one of the easiest things to understand and listen, because we kind of all have music in our life, in various ways to make us feel good, to make us feel a certain way. So this is really powerful. Again, it's uniquely created for you in the moment. Now, some other really cool modalities that I like in here are Sephy. Sephy is a big program. I call this like our little Rife machine. It's really become so much more than that, but I know that I wanted to spend $10,000 on a Rife machine. And when I was made aware that Sephy was available and I didn't have to spend $10,000, that we have access to all of these frequency databases. So remember when I said there's a frequency for everything, we have all of these lists. This one is A to Z ailments. There's a frequency for allergies, a frequency for bad complexion, like A to Z, any ailment heart you can possibly think of. Typhoid fever, there's frequencies that are for everything. And so in addition to ailments, we've got all the Bach flower frequencies and Australian frequencies. There's a huge database of homeopathy frequencies. Homeopathy frequencies are tried and true. I mean, this is ancient medicine here, and this is really wonderful for anybody who's involved in homeopathy. But even if you're a new person, like I don't know a lot about homeopathy, I can look up things by symptom. I can click abdominal pain if that's what I'm experiencing, and it'll share with me the homeopathy remedies that are ideal for me for abdominal pain. So it's really great for a practitioner and a lay person. If you don't know Bach flowers, you can scan and it'll tell you this is the flower remedy that's ideal for you right now. So in some cases, if you're like, I don't know how to utilize any of this, there's scan features that will just share with you. It kind of replaces muscle testing. So right now it says I need turkey bush because I have a lack of creativity right now. And so I would utilize that frequency for adding more creativity to myself right now. This is also really interesting because they have a bunch of detox frequencies and support for a variety of things. So these are more database of Lyme detox, metal detox. This is a big list here of all different types of detox frequencies and support for your nervous system, hormones, etc. Something new they added were all of the tuning fork frequencies. They just added all of your tuning fork frequencies. Now, these are tones that you listen to, and they're the same frequencies as tuning forks, which is really interesting to have all of these available at the touch of a button. And you can listen to them with headphones, or they have actually a transducer speaker that is paired with it if you would like to place them on your body or just listen to them outside of your headphones. You can listen to them with transducers. There's also something here if you're curious about not just using this for yourself, but maybe your family. You can add groups. So, you know, we have Scott and I in here and our dog, Epo, as our family group. And so we can actually add frequency playlists that we want to broadcast to ourselves. Maybe I want something specific, maybe Scott wants something specific, maybe my dog is dealing with something specifically. And so we can kind of pick and choose playlists, and then we would just press a button to send these frequencies to our bodies. Now, these frequencies are not sound. So this is like a kind of, like I said, a variety of different types of technology and frequencies in this one software. With Inner Voice, we talked about music and we understand Hertz frequencies. These other frequencies through the Sephy program and through the scans are scalar waves. Scalar waves move throughout time and space. You know, scalar waves go through the ends of the universe for all we know. And so you can take the frequency programs and have them ride on the scalar wave like a car on a highway. You know, that's how information is sent out for everything. For our brain has thoughts that are light waves that go out and send information out to the ether. Our cell phones ride light waves that take our text messages to the person we're texting. So information rides frequencies. And so you can take these frequencies like I just showed you in the Sephy database, it rides the scalar wave to the person. So just kind of a lay person understanding of like how is this possible that you can send these frequencies to somebody remotely, or, you know, across the world? Or how is it sending it to me and Scott and my dog at the same time? This is how advanced things have become with health technology, and it's really quite amazing. So Sephy also utilizes modified Rife frequencies, if you're familiar with Rife. Rife is sort of one of the original pioneers of creating these databases and creating these machines that send frequencies to people's body. So you can kind of look into the history a little bit more on some of these. Tesla, Einstein, Royal Rife, Marie Curie, and others have already pioneered this technology, and it's just been refined and updated for the modern day, and it's affordable and available. MindSync is also one of our favorite modalities. This is a really wonderful program for programming your subconscious with positive affirmations. Now, similar to how we go on YouTube and look at sound healing music, a lot of people also go to YouTube or maybe other avenues for positive affirmations or hypnosis to program their subconscious. And usually you're listening to somebody else's voice. What's more powerful is your own voice. And so this is a program where you're going to record your own positive affirmations. And there's a binaural offset here where you're listening with headphones. You're getting one thing in the right ear and another sound in the left ear that's going to cross the consciousness barrier to speak directly to your subconscious. So it's more powerful than just saying affirmations without this program. Because of the binaural offset, you're able to speak directly to your subconscious and hear your own voice when you listen to the recording. Scott, do you want to say anything about MindSync? This is our other favorite.
I mean, we started doing this, I think 3 times a day for 30 plus days. And now I've been doing it like twice a day. But by the third or fourth week, income and just general forms of abundance were up, I mean, at least 75% based on what I was tracking. So I think it makes a huge difference. I'm going to keep going with it. I mean, there's no reason to stop. It's got a great effect on my mindset. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, anyone who's been in the healing arts space for a while, we understand that we have trapped emotions. We understand that we have negative thought patterns and belief systems that are preventing us from really reaching our potential and even healing and growing in the ways that we should be. You know, like we typically don't understand, like, why can't we make ourselves, why can't we will ourselves to have these outcomes that we want, whether it's health or wealth or relationships or anything? And it's because of this subconscious programming and these emotional blocks. And so these are just some tools that you can utilize to help. break through these limitations and kind of reprogram ourselves the way we want to be programmed that's more beneficial for our life and our health. So we love MindSync. We think it's a really cool feature. I've never heard of anything else like this anywhere. And then, you have some other interesting drop downs here at the top. You can enter in pets as it's only really dogs, cats, and horses right now. Although some people enter in cows and goats and other animals. People can get creative with the software. A lot of this is based in intention and the quantum field. So there is some room for creativity. Spaces and objects you can put in your home. If you're a practitioner, your treatment room, and you can broadcast frequencies, to a space. Like I said, you can do client groups or like manage a family. You can, if you're a practitioner, you can, have a group for gut health or hormone health or sleep. So you can kind of get really creative with how you do that. There's also something called the supplement library. Now, this is if you are a supplement person. I know we have an entire drawer or a shelf at home with like so many different supplements. And this actually helps to replace muscle testing, because how do you really know what supplements you need for the day? Are you guessing? Are you basing it off of something, maybe some blood work that you've had or a hair analysis or something? That's cool. But in the moment, you can actually have this software determine for you what your body needs today. And so that's actually something that I underutilize. We don't use that enough. But I know a lot of people that feel like they love that feature the most, just because you can overtake supplements. Your body doesn't always need all the things that we're buying all the time. And in some cases, it can be too harsh on your liver and your kidneys to try to process all of these things that you might not even need. So that's what's actually wonderful about the supplement library. People can also get creative and add other things besides supplements, like essential oils. Maybe you have like 100 essential oils, and how do you know what oil your body wants that day? You can have a whole category on just oils. So you can also get creative with different categories of things in the supplement library and use that to replace muscle testing. If you are not clear on how to muscle test yourself, that's another great feature. And then there's some other things here, like some more bioresonance scans. These are more advanced. And so you kind of unlock these when you have gone through some of the more advanced trainings. So that would be like dental TMJ scans. A lot of people in the healing arts also know that there's so much going on in our mouth that leads and affects the rest of our health. If there's like underlying infections, especially, or any kind of thing going on with the mouth, it helps to understand how that relates to the rest of your health. So that's like an advanced feature. There's another feature that goes into kind of more predicting what is down the road. So some of these scans get really advanced where it'll tell you ahead of time, maybe you in a couple years will have this symptom or this thing happening. So I don't want to go too far into like all of that, but just so you know, like there's more features you can unlock if you want to go down the rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole. I'm kind of skimming the surface right now to kind of give you an overview, but just know that you can start with something really wonderful like the music. You can start with something like the MindSync program and kind of really get some benefits right away. And as you're learning more about the other features and how to really maximize them, give yourself some time to go down the rabbit hole. This is a very robust practitioner grade software that's available for the lay person, and whatever capacity you want to use it, whether you want to use all the features or just a certain amount of features. This is really best used on a daily basis. It's low and slow. So I'm going to show you in a couple minutes some more like power tools, if you will. But a lot of these sort of gentle, non-invasive frequencies are best used on a daily basis long term so that you're making progress slowly every day. And it's not shocking on your system. There's no side effects. You can't hurt anybody or yourself with this. So it's extremely gentle. You can use this with babies. You can use this with pets. So that's what I really like. And most of us, especially if you're compromised with your health, need to take a low and slow approach and be gentle with yourself and kind of helping your body not be stressed out while you're trying to help yourself heal, right? So, Scott, do you want to say any kind of final thoughts about the AO Scan subscription?
Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, it's a daily, course corrector. That's really the best way to look at it. Of course, you can dive deep and use it a ton each day, but you're probably not going to use every feature every day, and that's fine. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Just know that there's lots of different value there for you, and there's always more to learn. So, I mean, we don't use every piece every day, but yeah, the inner voice, the Sephy broadcast, the mind sync, those are some favorites. And I was going to say one other thing too. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. Just learn a little bit at a time.
Yeah, it's if you're a frequency nerd or you think that you could be a frequency nerd, it's like being a kid in a candy store. It's like, oh, this is so fun, this is so cool, this is so interesting. And so it takes people months and even years really to kind of like really maximize all of this. And the software keeps becoming more robust. So the idea is that Solex is over delivering with this software. They're being overly generous because it's only $149 a month, and yet they keep improving it and making it more interesting and giving us more features. So that's the subscription. One thing that I want to say is, again, because this is best used on a daily basis, we have something called the 90-day challenge. This is where I challenge you to raise your frequency. You're gonna listen to your inner voice music. You're gonna do your easy scan and optimization. You're gonna do a mind sync recording, and you're going to do a Sephy broadcast. And I know if you're new, you're like, what in the heck is all that? That does not take that much time, and you can get all of that done in like 20 minutes or less. Okay. And if you can just devote that short period of time every day to adding this into your routine, you will raise your frequency sooner than 90 days. But certainly, if you commit to 90 days, you're going to see like a lot of positive changes. Like we've seen it in our own life. I've seen it in my clients. Multiple people. There's so many testimonies out there. If you even go on the Solex official Facebook group, people are really seeing just wonderful changes and improvements in their mental health, their emotional health, their physical health, their relationships. People love helping their children and their pets with frequencies. Children and pets are so receptive to frequencies. They don't really have anything blocking. They don't have like an ego in the way. I kind of have to let people know like there's things you can do to make yourself more receptive to these things. But children and pets, for sure, if you're not a believer, just try this with a kid or a dog, and you'll
Mhm.
see that they're immediately receptive and how powerful frequencies are as a modality. So again, I challenge anyone to just try it for 90 days. It's only $149 a month. And during that period of time, you're going to learn about yourself. You're going to learn about how to utilize these frequencies to improve and raise your frequency and raise your overall health. And if you don't want to continue, you can always cancel. There's no contracts. You're not locked into anything. You can stop and start at any time. But we just say like, try it for 90 days. It's low and slow. So you're going to see over, the first 21 days, the first 30 days, little improvements, and then it's going to snowball into larger improvements by the end of the 3 months. So that's our challenge. We have a Facebook group called Raise Your Frequency Challenge. And so you can join that group, kind of learn more in addition to what I've said here, and get with the person who invited you to help you get started. So let's just actually go into next. What are some other supportive tools that Solex is now offering in addition to the software, which is the easiest? Really, everyone should start with the software, in my opinion, because it's inexpensive and you can just use it on your phone. You know, it's utilizing frequencies at the touch of a button. But, you know, there's other cool tools as well that we can look at. So let's look at some of the other products available. Some of these things you may already be familiar with. I'm going to just scroll down to, well, let's start with the foot detox, actually. I'm familiar with the ionic foot detox, where you put your feet in the water and there's like an ionic current and it draws the toxins down and out through the feet into the water. This is different. This is a radio frequency. So actually the frequency is moving in and up through your feet and then up through your body to create like an artificial fever. When your core temperature is raised, you burn off harmful pathogens, viruses, parasites, bacteria, fungus, mold, anything that your body is struggling with in terms of like your microbiome being out of balance, which happens to a lot of people. So, you know, we don't go into fever as much as we get older. And this is kind of a way to give yourself a fever without feeling sick and without feeling groggy and weird. But it basically helps to stimulate your organs and your immune system to, yeah, deal with the harmful microorganisms that could be affecting your health in a negative way. And so your body just burns them off. You expel it out through your normal detox pathways, and that's the foot detox machine. So there's also a mat that's infrared heat therapy and pulsed electromagnetic frequency therapy. So if you're familiar with infrared, infrared is a type of deep penetrating heat therapy. Not many people know that the sun actually emits infrared rays. So you know when you're lying in the sun and the sun's rays penetrate deep into your body and it feels so good? Well, these technologies are mimicking that also with deep heat penetrating infrared rays. It's very therapeutic. It does also raise your core temperature and kind of stimulate all types of different metabolic processes. Great for pain relief, great for stress relief. But this also has PEMF. And there's different types of PEMF, and you can really go down the rabbit hole in the different types of PEMF. So just quickly, if you are somewhat familiar with that, this is a low intensity PEMF, and it's a roaming PEMF, and it has 4 settings. So the idea of low intensity, again, is to not just blast people too much. You know, we're not trying to overstimulate our nervous system and put people into fight or flight. We want to do the opposite. We want to really stimulate people in a way that encourages them to go into parasympathetic, rest and digest, heal and repair. And so it's low intensity and it roams around the mat so that your body never quite gets used to it and it feels new every time you get on the mat. There's 4 settings. One is for sleep. One is for Schumann or earth frequency. One is for dopamine or mood. And the other one is for mental clarity or kind of helping with brain fog. So you can choose whichever setting you need. Lots of great testimonies. This is so easy. You just lay down and relax. Again, wonderful for pain relief, wonderful for stress relief. Kind of just gives you a boost. You know, if you feel like your body isn't healing that quickly for whatever reason, some people are kind of just low voltage, like low, they're sluggish, right? And so we're trying to help our body have the voltage and the energy to do the healing work that it's supposed to do. So all of these things, the AO scan subscription and these frequency tools are generally trying to do that, or help our body do what it should be doing, but maybe it's just slow to heal or sluggish for some reason. The Infinity Wand is one of our favorite tools. It's a handheld device. So you're holding it, you're kind of blowing. It blows hot air through a quartz crystal tube. And as the air comes out of that quartz crystal tube, it has terahertz. Terahertz frequencies are the frequencies that healthy cells resonate at. And so it helps to speed up cellular turnover, meaning getting rid of the old cells or abnormal cells. It also stimulates new cells. So this is the process of healing, right? We're getting rid of the old, creating new. And so this speeds up that process. And it has red light. Red light has many wonderful benefits as well for pain relief and just stimulating all different types of processes in the body to stimulate the healing process. So it's terahertz and red light, and you can use it over any areas of pain. I actually think it's probably the most effective for pain relief, fast, targeted pain relief. Scott, do you want to share any stories of the wand?
There's been so many. It's for acute pain relief. This is probably the most powerful tool I've ever experienced, and I've used other brands as well, but this one is extremely powerful. Definitely the nicest one. I had like a fully manifested, headache that was in my temple muscle. In 5 minutes, it was gone. I've had some other weird instances, like had some pain in the groin area one time, just randomly. It was gone in 2 minutes. I mean, just time after time, it's amazing. It's amazing for relaxation too, which I never really expected.
Yeah, you can even just have a partner or somebody like blow up and down the spine to help with the nervous system. There's a lot of great benefits. So we're not going to go into too much because we're kind of doing an overview right now, but these are just like more wonderful tools. And by the way, when you kind of compare the pricing of these tools to other companies that sell similar tools, Solex always has the best pricing while not compromising on quality. So that's my opinion about Solex, and why I like Solex so much is they over deliver. They're very generous with the quality, but they're not gouging you with the prices. These are very affordable. I know this looks like to a new person expensive, but meanwhile, the comparing competitors are $3,500 for something like this. So 1244 is actually a great price compared to 3,500. So you might want to do a little research if you're shopping around and comparing. But again, in my opinion, Solex, great prices, great quality, without compromising on results. Another thing here is the red light band. This is just a wristband. You're just wearing it over your wrist. This is where your major arteries and veins are. So it's blood that's working on the most is your blood. All of your blood goes through your wrist here in 7 minutes. So you can just simply place this red light band. It also has amber light over your wrist for 7 minutes. And all of the blood in your body has now been treated with red light. To me, I feel the benefit is lowering inflammation. I've heard a lot of people actually have some pain relief even with this. Like you've had pain relief even with the little red light band too. Like when we're too lazy to go get the wand and use the terahertz wand, which is not that hard. But if you're even lazier and you just grab the red light, you can do some spot treatment also for pain relief. There's also a lot of research around methylene blue and red light. So Solex did also create their version of methylene blue. And so when you take methylene blue and you're wearing this red light over your wrist, the combination is a powerhouse. And there's been so much research and studies on those benefits for mostly activating mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It does all the work. So when your mitochondria is slow, it's like your cells are lazy and they're not doing their job. So it's kind of giving your cells that energy it needs. And also it's just, I think, kind of your go-to for immune. I mean, we take methylene blue anytime we have a sore throat, anytime I think that I might have a parasite overload or, just feeling kind of low energy, generally sluggish. There's wonderful benefits between the red light and methylene blue together. Do you want to say anything about that, Scott?
I mean, for the first time I ever tried it for a sore throat, that's methylene blue. It knocked it out for 4 or 5 hours at a time. So I only had to take it a couple times. This was a week ago, and it was great for that. So I think it probably helped me get over whatever that was quicker. I would say it's hard to
Yeah.
say, but definitely got rid of the sore throat.
I've heard that where even if you are sick already, you can speed up the healing process of recovering faster. So it's not 7 to 10 days, it might be 4 days, 3 or 4 days. So those are the frequency tools. This is also the red light illuminator. So we're kind of staying first with the frequency category, but one thing that they launched recently is this Nano Line. And so I'll just kind of cover this quickly. If you've heard of nanoliposomal in the supplement space, then you know nanoliposomal is all about absorption. And when I first heard about nanoliposomal, I had to understand that when we're taking something that's not a nano size, it's a larger size, which means it's harder for our cells to absorb. And you might not really even be absorbing all of it. You know, if it's in a capsule and your stomach has to break it down. And so when we want like almost 100% absorption, we're talking about nanoliposomal as the formula structure to deliver whatever vitamins, minerals, herbs, or what have you. It's just going straight into your bloodstream. And so that's the idea behind this delivery of nano. Now, the different things they have are, like I just mentioned, the methylene blue. The methylene blue has colloidal silver, copper, and gold that makes the blue more effective. There's also a niacin flush. If you've ever had a niacin flush, I never had before this. It's really incredible for circulation to the point where you are beet red all over and you will feel it because you'll feel all of your capillaries open and your blood moving throughout your whole body. Like it's undeniable. You'll feel it. It's a little scary actually when you first have a niacin flush because you think something's wrong and why are you beet red? But it's actually so good for people with poor circulation to force those capillaries to open and move the blood through every area of your body. That's also how blood gets to your cells. So circulation is like a basis for health. And then we've got D3K2. And of course, we know that most of the population is vitamin D deficient, especially during the winter. I know that I have struggled with seasonal depression every winter and really, really had a hard time finding a D3 that was even effective. I don't know. I struggled for a long time being vitamin D deficient. And it wasn't until I tried this one, probably because of the absorption, but also because it's D3K2, and there's also other Ks in there. It's a really smart formula that I feel like maximizes the D. And anyway, it works. That's all I know because this is my best winter ever after taking this one. So D3K2, the sleep formula, another thing that I really swear by because I've tried so many sleep aids, along with seasonal depression for myself. This is my own personal testimony. I had insomnia and adrenal fatigue, which means I would try sleep aids that were harsh, I would try to knock myself out just so I could get a good night's sleep. But because they were so harsh on my adrenals and my kidneys, my body was even more stressed out the next day. So I've tried cannabis, I've tried, macro dosing melatonin and other types of harsher sleep aids to only feel worse the next day because it's so aggressive and made my adrenals and kidneys like more depleted. This formula is gentle. It's also nano, which means you don't have to take that much of it. It's like immediately absorbed. And so this one is a gentle formula that will help with the mind, like the racing of your thoughts. So it helps to slow down the mind. It also helps to calm your body cramps or muscle stiffness so that you can feel comfortable in your own body and not be tossing and turning and uncomfortable. So it helps with kind of muscle relaxation. And then it helps with just a little bit of gentle liver detox. You know, there's some milk thistle. And so if our livers are like overworked and working to try to detox everything in our life, sometimes that disrupts people's sleep, and not many people know that. So anyways, it's a really balanced, gentle formula. It does work to knock you out though, and you don't feel like crap the next day. So, obviously I love that one. for my own needs of getting good sleep. And then there's a one for think, which is like brain NRF2, right? That's maybe Janelle can speak a little more about that one actually, but that one's for brain health, cognition. We have to worry about these things as we get older with early onset dementia and Alzheimer's. So this was really supposed to help keep your brain healthy and the neurons firing. And there's some omegas from krill, which we all need omegas for a variety of things. But anyways, this is their nano liquid bundle. And this is kind of my favorite supplement line that Solex offers. They're primarily a frequency health technology company, but additionally, they realized people need supplements still. Frequencies aren't supposed to replace everything. We can't get rid of everything and only do frequency medicine. This is supposed to be in addition to all of the things you're already doing. When it comes to having robust health and wellness, there isn't a magic bullet or one thing or one cure. You actually have to address every area of your life if you really want to be healthy. And having these tools and these resources and these products and these technologies and everything should make it easier for you. It's just a resource to make your life easier, to give your body a boost, to take advantage of some of this advanced technology that was created to help people faster, get faster results, right? So none of this is like a magic bullet. You're already doing some things right now that are working for you. You keep doing that. And then you consider adding some of these other things to, move the needle even more so. So that's kind of an overview on the other products that Solex offers. And there's like some other things that I'm not going to focus on. Those are kind of my heavy hitter, big areas to focus on. Scott, do you want to say anything else about some of the other products or the Nano line?
No, I think that was good. We threw a lot out there. So
Yes.
maybe just check see if people have some questions.
Okay. I'm going to go over one more thing and then we'll open it up for questions. So if you're like, okay, great overview, I think I'm ready to get started. You're going to get back with the person who invited you to this. And this is typically what they're going to send you is a site that looks like this. So I just want to go over some of your options for what you can do. If you just want to try one of the products, any of those cool tools or any of the supplements, you're going to choose to be a retail customer and you can just buy a product, retail. Here you go. Here's your little shopping cart, just like you would shop online anywhere else. If you want to try the subscription on your phone or your laptop at home, then you would choose preferred customer. And this is where you would sign up to access the subscription at home. And you would choose, here's where we have some of the bundles, right? So these are some of the accessories that go with the software. They're optional, but you get the red light band. You've got chromotherapy, color therapy. You have imprintable frequency patches that you can use with the software to program and wear on your body. And you also have the headset transducer. These are for running the scans, and these are also optional. So you get a savings you see right here. You can save some money if you're interested in kind of saving up front. I didn't have this option when I first started, so I had to buy all of these things full price. But now they have these as optional starter bundles. And so you would choose one of those if you want to or not. And then here's where you subscribe to the AOScan subscription. And then you're going to go through and just fill out the rest of this information that it wants from you. It's going to want a login, password, and passcode, username and passcode rather, and some, other profile information. And then there is another option if you would like to do what we're doing and share this with other people. If you think, hey, any of my clients might be interested in this. Hey, my sister's really into these kinds of things. If you want, there's also a business opportunity to be a QLA or a quantum living advocate. This basically just means you have the option to earn commissions if you want, like an affiliate, or if you want, you can also build a team of people underneath you. totally optional if you're a business-minded type person and you're thinking, I'm probably going to share this with people anyways, then you would choose the QLA option. So that kind of in a nutshell is how you would get started on any of these things that we've shared today.